Welcome to another episode of Threads of Enlightenment. We have our guests as usual. They are welcome, and we are excited that they come because we get a chance to grow and become better human spirits. And today I welcome Cathy. She's going to tell us all that she has created today. And then we are going to go back, as is our custom here at Threads, to go back and then unravel the process or her path that brought her to this place today. Cathy, welcome to Threads of Enlightenment.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Tell us about what you have done. And I know I'm reading all your stuff, TED Talk, all over the place. I want you to tell the people today what you are doing and want to paint that picture, because I try to tell them this is your world that you have created, but it did not like I think it is about the fast thinking, but so tell us what you have created so that we can get
Okay, the condensed version in 40 minutes. My life work in 40 minutes or less. Okay. Okay, so thank you. I really appreciate it. I believe that everyone is put on here on earth for a reason. As your show suggests, everyone has something to do here, but we're interdependent, and I believe that too.
Yes.
My working title is Cathy Crawly, Laughing Bean Queen, and I'll just deconstruct that. So it's really simple solutions for today's challenges: worms for amending the soil, sprouts for eating, and laughter for overall health and wellness. And it's fascinating, I think, to me, because I'm like, these seem like such independent streams, but they really are related. And the longer I'm in all of these, the more I realize, wow, they really do all go together. So I started worms are my main mission, and I believe that's why I was put on earth, to raise awareness about these beautiful creatures. It's indoor composting with worms. Not everyone wants worms in the house, you can imagine.
I did that.
And so so it's indoor composting with worms. So it's converting our food scraps and paper into soil so we can grow more nutrient-rich food.
Yes.
The sprouts are a big part of my health plan, and I eat them every day. And I have this really super simple way to grow sprouts. And sprouts are the original fast food, I guess is what I would want to say. We are a fast food. We want everything really quick. We want solutions right now. We want to do everything in a hurry. We don't have time to wait. So sprouts don't make us wait. It's the seed or bean. It germinates and then it's ready to eat. And then the laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. I think we've all heard that before. It's true. That's definitely the truth. It's the fastest happiness hack. I believe that laughter is the sound of the gods. It's just like, it's high vibration energy. And when we're laughing, we're not thinking about anything. We're just laughing. Right? We're not thinking about, oh, yesterday I said that thing. Why did I do that? Or tomorrow I got this thing and I'm really nervous. We're right here, right now. We're totally present. So it really does help us to, especially during this cuckoo time, it's helping us to stay grounded and to come back into our body so that we can come up with better solutions.
Yeah, I remember reading an article, and I can't remember who it was, but it was a famous person, and they were hospitalized, and they got all of the Buster Keaton tape. He told his person or friend to bring all of the Buster Keaton tape, and he looked at all of them, and he laughed his way from sickness to health. So
Norman Cousins.
See, there you go. Thank you. And that is a perfect example of the power of laughter. And so for those that are in need of healing, laughter is an excellent medicine for you to apply to your body, mind, and spirit. It is free. So get some tapes and start laughing, and get in touch with Cathy and tell us what happened so that we can put you in here as well so you can talk about it. So Cathy, you have these are your three disciplines that you're working with. Now, did you begin this in high school? Did you start thinking about this in high school? Um, how was your, as we talked earlier, that I mentioned that life has a way of giving us breadcrumbs and so forth. And then if we don't pay attention to those, she interrupts our life and causes us to really focus by a situation showing up. So talk to us about when did that passion, did you start with it, and how did you hone it as you began to grow?
Wonderful. Love it. No, it didn't. It wasn't. I didn't even know that I was an entrepreneur. I didn't even know it was a choice. I didn't
Hmm.
know. There's nobody in my family or in my circle that were entrepreneurs when I was growing up. The
Yeah.
message I received as a young girl, I'm 58 now. The message I received was, women can be. There was kind of five things. They could be secretary, nurse, a waitress, flight attendant. They would call them stewardess, but you can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the last one is. Anyway, I guess I didn't choose that one. So I thought, okay, and actually, Ken, at that time, now looking back, it was almost a gift because there was only five choices.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
today, so I chose secretary, so I was a great secretary,
Hmm.
and I learned all those skills. So thank goodness I learned how to keyboard, which is very
Yeah.
handy for today's life. I learned how to run the office. I was keeper. I was the president's secretary at Boulevard Watch. It doesn't matter, I can say the company, it's fine.
My dad worked
And
for
so as
them
the
for many years.
pardon me.
My dad worked for Boulevard Watch for many, 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 many years.
Great company. It was a great
Yeah,
company. It
he
still is,
loved
I
it.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yes.
he loved it. Yeah.
But so as the head secretary, at the time you don't even realize it's like, oh, you're just a secretary. Uh,
Hmm.
that role gave me so many skills, the skills that I
Yeah.
need for today to run my own business.
Hmm.
But so I didn't know. I changed job. I need a lot of variety, so I didn't. I didn't know that this was an option. For 20
Yeah.
years, I was a secretary, and I changed jobs regularly. And then the
Hmm.
last 10 years of my secretarial life, I was a temporary secretary. There's an organization in Canada called Kelly Girl,
Hmm.
and it's a
Yes.
temporary agency.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
And so I was a Kelly girl. I would, cover holidays or mat leave or what I just here and there. I'd work wherever. You have to be pretty independent to work 10 years as a temp because people don't get attached to you. They don't want to go out for
Yeah.
lunch with you because you're the temp. You're going to be
Yeah.
going.
Hmm.
But again, it just taught me a lot. And then I was all the while I was getting my psych degree at night. It took me 15
Uh-huh.
years. Stay in school. You'll get
Right.
there. As a lifelong learner, I love meeting people. I love
Hmm.
understanding. Like when you go to night school, you meet different people than during the day.
Yeah.
Um, when you go at night, those are people that have decided that they want to be there. Where if
Hmm.
you're, university, maybe the parents are paying and the kids don't really want to be there, but the parents are like, oh, you got to get your degree, or
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah. So I got my psych degree in 2000. I was like, what am I going to do with this? And people said, you're not going to use a psychology degree. You need a PhD in
Yeah.
psychology to make a difference.
Hmm.
Psychology is everything, right?
Yes,
Wherever we're
indeed.
talking to people,
Oh, yeah.
psychology fits in there.
Hmm.
Um, so I got a job at a group home working with challenged adults. And
Hmm.
I thought I had come home. I was like, oh my gosh, 20 years as a secretary, I really was meant to be here working, helping people. I
Yeah.
really believe that I'm here to be of service, as we all are.
Yeah.
And my goal is to really help people live a more fulfilling life.
Yes.
So I was like, this is so beautiful. I love this. They had 10 homes and a farm. And then I realized, oh gosh, there's so much politics in social work. Everybody's an expert. Oh no. And so I couldn't work with management. I had trouble with management. Anyway, I ended up, I got injured at work, and I decided right at the beginning of my work life that I would never stay in a place that didn't serve me. Meaning, if I was
Yes.
unhappy or I didn't like the job, I didn't like the people, something, I would leave.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I did. I'm quite proud of myself that I set that standard right at the beginning of my work life. And I
Yeah.
stuck with that. I said, this is what I want for me, because we
Hmm.
spend so much time at
Yes.
work.
In it. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So then, oh gosh, I got injured, and then I was stressed at work. I was like, how can I feel like couldn't be that effective because I was afraid.
Hmm. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
good, right? I came home from work, and there was an ad in the paper, and I'm very open to when things arrive, I take
Yeah.
notice. And
Yes. Yes.
I would suggest that the listeners notice when things arrive in their life, like, oh, what is that? Why did that
Yeah.
arrive? Just
Hmm.
notice.
Yes.
So I looked at that. There was an ad in the paper, and it said, are you a woman? Do you have a business idea? It was a 6-month business course, a free
Hmm.
course to write a business plan. So I
Nice.
was like, I turned to my husband. I said, hey, I'm quitting my job. I'm taking this course. I'm going to start a worm business. What fun. That was 2002. So I started my worm business, and oh my gosh, because I realized, so this is indoor composting with worms. And I saw a big problem with our landfill closed in 2002, the landfill for the Toronto area. When the landfill for the largest city in a country closes, it's a problem, a big, smelly problem. And so I was like, gosh, closed, and we started shipping our garbage out of the country to the US. Sorry. Sorry that we were exporting our garbage. Um, it costs a lot. It's our hard earned tax dollars. It's not an infinite pool, although the politicians sometimes treat it like it is. If we were more fiscally responsible, we would be able to have our money go farther. So I believe I've got a solution. These worms, I think I'm here on my own. So as this is indoor composting with worms. So I was like, man, Toronto area, 6 million people, half live in condos, townhouses without space for outdoor composting. This is indoor composting. So I was like, I have a solution. They're special worms. So they stay in the container. They need bedding, they need food. So they need a carbon nitrogen mix. The carbon is shredded paper, and the nitrogen is the food scraps. The worms eat it all. They stay in the bin. It's an aerobic process, meaning with oxygen, so it will never smell. Yeah. And I realized early on that, people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want. And they didn't need, or they don't buy what they need, they buy what they want. And they didn't want worms in the house. Early on, I decided I needed to do something different, and I started taking on school workshops. And I'm happy to report that over 75,000 students have seen my presentation so far. Yay, woo! Now I have to wait till they have buying power. I was like, I'd have to wait 20 years till they have buying power. I'm almost there, 19 years in. So this is so I believe that worms are going to play an ever-increasing role in waste management, soil production, and food security. Worms take all of that paper and food scraps out of the waste stream. We're managing stuff on site, so we don't need the magic truck to come along. We're feeding our paper documents. People are concerned about identity theft. You can shred up your papers, but we've all watched CSI, so we know that you could paste those back together if you really wanted to find out what those papers said. If you take those shreds and put them into a worm bin, then nobody can take your identity. And the worms are turning that material into nutrient-rich soil, or black gold, I call it. Our food is broken. I'm not saying anything new. As the plants are growing, the nutrients are coming out of the soil into the plant. So if we take those food scraps or those garden clippings and do anything other than compost them, we're robbing the soil of those nutrients. So yes, we can still grow another plant. It's soil. It's not going to be as nutrient rich as the last one. Okay, so let's see. So I started to do exhibiting with my worm business, and the very first event that I was at in 2002, I met a gentleman selling a super simple sprout grower. It looks like a spaceship, and it was flying off the shelf. I didn't know anything about sprouts or sprouting, why you would eat them, how to grow them, anything about it. And I asked him, what is that spaceship thing? And he said, it's a sprout grower, and explained all about why to eat sprouts. So I'm going to give you some fun, fancy words. Sprouts are alkalizing, hydrating, regenerative, biogenic, and contain up to 100 times more digestive enzymes than raw vegetables. As soon as we cook our vegetables, we've destroyed the enzymes. There's still vitamins, fiber, protein, goodness, but you don't have the enzymes. As we age, we may start to get digestive issues if we're not eating enzymes, raw vegetables, sprouts. And so we may go to the doctor, and the doctor will give us a prescription for enzyme pills. Instead of taking a pill, we could grow our own and eat the live food. Let me break down those 5 fancy words. Alkalizing. So sprouts are alkalizing, meaning on the pH scale, a lot of the food that we eat is acidic. So sprouts help to balance the acidity, so alkaline. In many illnesses, cancers and whatnot, happen in an acidic body. So this is helpful to again set our body up in the right on the right pH scale. Hydrating. The sprouts are juicy. They're so juicy. As soon as we're thirsty, we're already starting to be dehydrated. So this is a wonderful way for us to get some moisture. Hydrating, alkalizing, regenerative. So I'm going to talk about Alzheimer's for a moment. Alzheimer's is a degenerative disease, meaning that it's eating away at your brain cells, and your memories. We can't grow back our memories, but imagine if we can bolster our cells with wonderful nutrient-rich food. Hydrating, alkalizing, regenerative, biogenic. Oh, probably my favorite thing, except for the enzymes. Biogenic. You might notice I have tons of energy. I'm high energy, and I go and I go and I go, and then at night I sleep well because I've done lots of movement during the day. I have great thoughts and good energy, and then at night I'm just all ready to go and regenerate at night. Biogenic, it's life force giving. When you're eating live food, you're getting the nutrients from that wonderful food. Wonderful. Ken, are you there? I see your thing going on and off. Okay. Okay, so and then up to 100 times more digestive enzymes, which I already spoke about. Adding sprouts to your life adds life to your life. It's just a wonderful way to get nutrient-rich food. And I say you can eat as much as you want, but wait a minute, you can't because it's full of fiber. So you actually get that wonderful full feeling where you're like, I feel nourished. That's what happens.
So you've done so much, Cathy. Seriously, all of this knowledge that you just told us about the worms and their capability and all of this thing. Now, let's go back a little because you had said you were afraid when you were at dealing with school and stuff like that. So talk to us about this fear that you had, because that's important for people to understand that most of us are battling some kind of something. And we label it fear, depression, mental disease, all of these different things that are labeled. But how did you get out of that to begin to still continue that progress of your personal growth? I know you were going to school, and you have been a student of people and the mind and all of these things. How did you apply some of those techniques, principles that you were learning in school to help you deal with your fear?
Yeah, so I did get injured at work. I had got a dislocated finger by one of my clients when I was
Wow.
working at. Well, I had left the facility, and I was working at a school. One boy, there was two freelance behavior management specialists and a teacher. And
Wow.
at one time, I did believe that everybody should be integrated in the school system.
Hmm.
That was before I was in the system, and I realized it's not possible to integrate everybody in
It's not a
because
good
that was a
place.
lot of resources. That was three
Yeah.
people.
Uh-huh.
A lot of money was spent. Not that people aren't worth it; they're worth it. It's just we
Yeah.
don't necessarily right. There's places. I think there's other places. So I
Yeah.
got injured by my client, and I only had one client. Whoops. So I really was kind of like, it's kind of like the dog. If you're afraid of the dog, dog knows you're afraid, right? It's energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my
Yes.
client was aware that I was
Yeah.
afraid. Even he was nonverbal, and he was kind of targeting me. And I was like, I did feel ineffective as a social
Yeah.
worker, being afraid. And then I came home and saw the ad, and it was a beautiful thing. Everything was magically happened,
Hmm.
and I love that client. So now it's really fascinating how life has come back around. Because when I
Yeah.
left that industry, I was a little bit sad because I thought 20 years as a secretary, I was effective. I was a great secretary because you can do anything that you put your
Yeah.
mind to. I don't
Hmm.
want to brain surgeon. You don't want me working on your brain. Okay, but you know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
learn skills and be good at
Yes.
whatever you decide. So I was a great secretary, even though I probably wasn't meant to be a secretary, but it gave
Yeah.
me all those skills. So then I left and thought, oh, this is what I was meant to do. And I
Hmm.
think that life is interesting how you're like, oh, this is me. And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, nope, something happens. Nope, this isn't.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But I really, really love the client. And the reason I love the client so much is because of the non-judgmental factor that they carry.
Yeah.
Non-judgmental. If you respect people, they respect you back.
Yeah.
Logically, they maybe don't have the thinking capacity. They can't
Yes. Yes.
verbalize what it is,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
there's this mutual respect that happens,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So now, I've done composting programs with that facility that I used to work at. So still
Hmm.
working with the client, but not
Yes.
under management.
On the management. Hmm. Yeah.
Right, on my own terms. I get to come in,
Yes.
do my thing, get
Hmm.
paid, and
Yeah.
and leave. Right,
And
work
leave.
with the
Yeah.
client,
Uh-huh.
have fun, and
Yeah.
then not have to deal with management. Beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, I haven't even touched on laughter. So worms.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
really believe that I have world hunger and world peace solved.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Hmm.
stand in my power and say that. I really feel like I'm one person. It's like, how am I going to do all that? Because by educating, by being on
Yes.
podcasts, thank
Education.
you.
Yes.
Right,
Hmm.
by sharing
Yes.
the stage, by letting people know this is something easy we can all do.
Yes.
Um, so about it takes me a while to get the message, but about 10 years in, I was like, okay, everyone needs worms. And I thought, because I knew that they
Yeah.
needed what I had. These worms are so beautiful. They really
Hmm.
are magic. They have 5 hearts each.
Yes.
Each worm
Yes.
has 5 hearts. And I believe
Wow.
it was by design. I believe they have
Yeah.
5 hearts because Creator was like, people are going to be afraid of those worms. They're going to
Yeah.
think they're gross and icky. So let's make them a little bit appealing by giving them
Hmm.
extra love. That's the story I tell the kids. I
That's
wasn't there,
funny.
but right. So 800 to 1,000 worms in a pound, red wigglers. These are cute little worms.
Yeah.
4 to 5,000 hearts in a pound of worms.
Wow.
And the word, I know but words have power and they have energy. And
Yes.
love and heart and peace and joy. These are all
Hmm.
high vibrating words. They are just like,
Yes.
they hit
Yes.
your heart. You're like, ah, yes, bing, bing.
Yes.
That feels good. I like that.
Yeah, we see that.
Uh,
Was that a study about water where, what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name, that put words of love and so forth to water.
Emoto.
And yes, and the quality changed, and he took bad words, or what do you say, and he just put it in water, and it changed as well. They did that with plants. I remember the different types of music with plants and the importance of sound. And as you had said, all of those are good vibration, and it does something to the body. And I believe laughter has some of that good vibration, and you could sense it and feel it in your body, in your hormones, in your cells when you do laugh. And it's important that people understand the power of words because, and the importance of words because of the very same thing that you said. It carries that power in within it, and that I say to people because when people say certain things to you, it goes into your heart, your spirit, and grows. It'll grow with your thought. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. You're ugly. You're fat. You're too skinny. All those words that are planted in you bear fruit as you begin to focus and think about it. So it is important that you learn how to guard your ear that allows those, and become a soldier with your thoughts so that it doesn't get in and bear fruit. But you're absolutely so right, Cathy, on that to bring people's attention about that piece.
Yeah, and we are, thank you for mentioning the water. We are mostly water. So just like
Yes.
the cup of water that you put love on and you get those beautiful crystals, our
Yes.
body is mostly water. So when we have negative thoughts, it affects the water in our body.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. I love that. I just thought of that as you were saying that. It's like we are mostly water. So
Yeah.
it really is important. Same with when you mentioned music, they did things with like classical music, and then you get these
Yep.
beautiful
Classical and
crystals.
rock.
Heavy
Mm-hmm.
metal music.
Yep.
Now we
Yep.
get those distorted crystals. Very
Mm-hmm.
fascinating study. Yeah, if people want
Yeah.
to know more about that, I would suggest reading that book. It's so beautiful.
It's beautiful. I used to have a little thing that I would do with my water before the night before I go, I would fill up my water and I would put those words on it. I'd tape the words and then I would leave it in the refrigerator. So when I get up in the morning to do my exercise, then I would drink the water. It was
I
kind of
love
weird, but
it. Yeah, no, it
that's what
matters.
I
It
did.
really matters.
You know.
Thank you that, when you were talking about, the things that people say to people, you're
Hmm.
too this, you're too that. I was told as a child that I was too sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too sensitive, right? Always crying. Oh, they said this and that. And I used to, I was told grow a thicker skin. Like, how do you grow more skin? I don't know. I haven't worked one out yet. And the world's a harsh place and all these things. And now, I mean, now in my 50s, it takes time for you to get the message. And I really would like
Yes.
to. I work a lot with young girls, and
Yes.
and young boys too. I think
Hmm.
everybody gets these we get down a lot as children, and then those
Yes.
things stick with us, and it's hard when our energy is stuck on something negative. Then it's tied
Yes.
up over there. We don't have access to that energy.
Hmm.
And I say to young girls now, a lot of young girls come up and say, "Oh, I know I'm too sensitive," and I say, "Please, let me just
No.
explain something to you.
Hmm.
What does it mean to be sensitive? It means you care. It means you,
Hmm.
and to be
Yeah.
too sensitive. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
How is that even possible? Oh, you're too sensitive for caring so much."
Hmm.
Right?
It
Like
is.
I really
Yeah.
believe that. I know, like yes, I was super sensitive. I am still super sensitive. I'm still that
Hmm.
little girl
Yeah.
in a
I
big
think,
girl's body.
yeah, society has robbed men the opportunity to be men, true men, by this nonsense that men don't cry. Alone has, because if you have a man that is not able to do that, I would stay away from someone like that because that person doesn't have any empathy within them. There could be, there's a tendency of that person to become abusive because of that lack of being in touch with that aspect of crying and broken and in pain. And I think society has um, really crippled men in that sense to have them thinking that way, because you use the terminology of sensitive, and that's what they say. We don't want you to be sensitive and stuff like that. But there's a reason why you are.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's so beautiful. And I think now I feel like because I am so open, sensitive, I feel like I'm empathic, so I can feel other people's pain.
Yes, you can feel the
Um,
pain and empathize, and you can, those girls now, there's a part of you that can actually cuddle that spirit of those young women and the young people that they need um, at that age. Sometimes a parent is busy, again, because of how we are programmed. We got to provide, got to provide. And so that parent is focusing on providing, and not focusing on the need of those young kids. And that's why you have gangs and all the other things. But when you're able to feel that, and when they're in your sphere, and you're able to translate that into a physical action and to let them know it's okay, I think that's some powerful stuff, Cathy. That's some powerful stuff for a child.
it's magic. It really is beautiful. I'm the person that if I'm at a business networking event, it's not always comfortable for people to promote themselves or even go up to someone they don't know. If I see
Yeah.
someone standing on their own, I'm the one that goes up to that person and brings them into the fold. Um,
Yes.
and I think that came from my own feeling of loneliness and feeling like I was the only one,
Mm-hmm.
just by myself and not a part of. And so I see other people, I see that in other people and just bring them in. And I do feel like I may have one of those personalities that just people are able to open up to me and say things that they may not say to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think coming from that non-judgmental, just being open, holding space for people wherever they
Yes.
are. Like we don't know what people have experienced.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's the heart of a teacher, a true teacher, is
Yeah.
that you have to be able to come from that place of non-judgmentalness, because if you are judgmental, you've already lost. How can you truly um, offer anything to that person, because you've already formed a bias, you've lost. And so you have to be able to be open, as you say, and in that space of openness comes safety, comes trust, comes all of those things that are necessary in order to have an honest conversation with that person. If you are judgmental, you will not approach them in a fashion that is best for them. You have already take that person out and put the focus on you, because you've already judged. And so it is beautiful to hear that you are that type person that reach out to the people to say hi. I'm the one that you'll have to come and say hi to. So
And so
I
so
appreciate
in
that.
comes the laughter, Ken. I mean, I
Yes.
was saying about 10 years in, I was kind of getting discouraged about, one more person saying, "Ooh, worms in the house." And
Mm,
so I was like, how am I going to put worms everywhere? My goal is to put worms in every living space, every house,
yeah.
every apartment, every school, every business. So we don't have to truck this stuff around. Imagine that would be
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
great.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
No.
So I was
No.
like, oh, how am I going to do this? And I was kind of, I don't know, I was ready to kind of doff my mission, but you can't
Hmm.
go against what you were put here for. You
Yes.
can try. It's going to keep coming back to you.
Yeah, coming back, you have to create a new path with the same dream. So you have to look at your situation where you're at and go, where is it? I need to find the joy aspect of this particular vision, destiny that I have, and apparently you have found that joy.
Yeah, well, I found it through laughter. Someone introduced
Yeah.
yoga, And I was like, laughter yoga, I don't even do regular yoga. And I know it's a fine thing. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
um, so laughter yoga is not about jokes or comedy. It's
Mhm.
intentional laughter exercises. It's really just laughing and deep diaphragmatic breathing. So
Mhm.
there's no talking. It's not like talk therapy. It's just laughing. So we connect. And laughter yogi. Laughter yoga started in 1995 by a medical doctor
Mhm.
in India, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his
Mhm.
goal is world peace through laughter. There are clubs around the world, thousands of clubs around the world. I think we're at 115 countries now that there are laughter clubs right now.
Wow.
So
Wow.
beautiful. Um, yeah, and they're doing work with military, police,
Mhm.
inmates, corporate, of course, for team building, increasing productivity, reducing absenteeism. I mean, it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
a magic thing that breaks down barriers. It helps connect us. And when we're stressed, we're not breathing properly and we're
Mhm.
secreting cortisol. So
Yes.
cortisol, we need a little bit to get off our butts,
Mhm.
but too much, which is what we're doing now, is causing illness. When
Yes.
we're laughing, we're secreting the love drugs.
Mhm.
Laughter is the best medicine. The next
Mhm.
question is, have you had your daily dose?
Mhm.
Dopamine,
Yes.
oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, the love
Yes.
drugs. So
Yes.
as soon as we smile, we send a note to our brain, hey, I must be happy, I'm smiling.
Mm.
And then we add a giggle, we secrete more chemicals. When we add a big guffaw, more and more chemicals. So we're in charge of our own pharma. How
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
And I think the most important part of laughing, of course, it makes us feel good. We're connected, all of that, is the breath. Breath is our
Yes.
life. We can
Yes.
live without food and water for a few days. We may be grumpy and uncomfortable, but we could do it.
Mhm.
We can only live without oxygen for a few minutes.
Yes.
So laughter forces us, sounds harsh. Laughter encourages us
Yes. Yes, it does.
to breathe in, right? Like, because you can't
Mhm.
just ha ha ha, you have to breathe in at some point.
Yes.
So it really does force us. And I'd love to give a little example about a little demonstration about oxygen. Ever
Yes.
lost your keys? And you're
Mhm.
like flopping around, you're like, I gotta go, where are my keys? Maybe in a more gentle way. I'm pretty high energy, so I'm like, oh. So as long as you're flapping around like, where are my keys? Because when we're stressed, we kind of get tunnel vision. We can't see everything. We can't
Yeah.
see all around because we're
Mhm.
just like, help. And our brain, when we're stressed, lymph, brain, and oxygen leaves our head. Not all of it, some stays,
Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
because we're going into fight, flight, or freeze. We need to just get out of stress. We don't
Yeah.
need our thinker.
Yeah.
So I can't stop you from losing something. Sorry.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
next time it happens, I hope my voice squeaks in there. Stop, take a nice deep breath, laugh it off, ha ha ha, and then apologize to everyone that you just yelled at. And you'll find,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, my keys are right there. They're right there. I just couldn't see them.
I'll try and remember that next time.
It really is a beautiful thing. It really is. And you know what? Now I've been laughing. 10 to 15 minutes of
Yeah.
sustained belly laughter is equivalent to about 300 sit ups. Wow.
Wow, that is
30
intense. I
minutes on a
didn't
rowing
know.
machine.
Yeah, I didn't know about the laughter yoga until I started reading about, and I went to look at some of the videos and stuff like that that you have posted to see the techniques and stuff like that that you incorporated in the laughter yoga. I did not know anything about it until I saw your stuff.
Wonderful. Yay. All right.
So
Welcome.
yeah, it was.
Now you know.
It was interesting to watch. Like I said, I didn't even know it was part, and then to incorporate it into yoga with the breathing techniques and stuff like that. It was really fascinating to to look at and see how people were doing it when I was looking at your videos. So I appreciate it. That is
It really
awesome.
is a beautiful thing. I would really love to bring it back around to my working with folks with developmental disabilities.
Hmm.
I'm doing laughter. So before COVID, I was going into long term care, laughing with folks with dementia. And I
Yeah.
was also working with special needs groups, helping them laugh.
Mhm.
Imagine if you're nonverbal. I'm chatty Cathy,
Yeah.
so I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even imagine how life must be where people are telling you, oh, wear this, go here, eat this,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. You know, it must be frustrating as anything. If you can't
Yeah.
say, oh, I don't even like potatoes. Why
Yes.
do you keep
Yes.
feeding me potatoes?
Yeah. Yeah. Get it. Yeah.
You know, or whatever.
Mhm.
So laughter is such a beautiful release. It's like that pressure cooker. You know, when people laugh when it's uncomfortable, like at
Yeah.
funerals or in a situation that it's, you know, maybe inappropriate to laugh, it's
Mhm.
because of that pressure cooker. It's the pressure is building up, and then we just like we can't hold it in anymore. We just laugh,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
it's like it's a release. It's like, thank goodness.
It is. Yeah.
It's not held in anymore. I can just laugh it out and then sometimes you can't put it back in.
Mhm.
So I was, you know, I mentioned being intuitively guided. I believe the things that come to me and I ask, is this for me? Yes, no.
Yeah.
And I really am aware. And I really want other people to just be mindful about when they get a feeling or like it's not maybe indigestion, maybe that's a
Yeah.
message.
Uh-huh.
I was walking in the forest and I had received this whole vision. And I don't know, the universe keeps providing these things that are like, you want me to put worms in every house? Okay.
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
So this new vision that I have is I was walking in the forest and I saw myself. I'm a laughter yoga teacher, so I teach leaders. So I teach
Mhm.
people how to lead laughter classes. And I was teaching some folks with special needs how to be laughter leaders, so they can laugh, so they can lead laughter for their demographic.
Yes.
I don't know how it is in the U.S., but in Canada, when young folks with developmental disabilities turn 21, they're kicked out of the school system, the public school system. And kicked out is harsh. I mean,
Yeah.
they're finished school, and they
Yeah.
say, "Here you go. Here's it's called ODSP. It's a disability pension,
Mhm.
and at 21, there's your life. Go have
Yeah.
a good life. It's not enough money to live on." Um, so they still need to live with their parents or
Mhm.
somewhere in a facility, and if they work for money, it comes off their limited disability pension. So there's not
Yeah.
really any incentive, and it's not about money anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it is, but it's really
Yeah.
a not a very good system.
It's not.
But they're
Mhm.
they're a demographic that doesn't have a voice. You
Yes.
know, they can't go and protest or fight or
Yeah.
whatever because they don't
Mhm.
have the capacity.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there I was, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on with this vision? What am I going to do with this?" When you decide something, when something comes to you, I'm like, okay, I love that demographic. I already said that. I love
Mhm.
those. I love those people. I just think they're magic, special people. And so I phoned up a friend and I was actually training her daughter, and I didn't know her daughter at the time. This is such a weird story. And I
Mhm.
phoned her, I just knew of her daughter, but I didn't know her personally. So I said, okay, this is going to be a weird, your odd caller of the day. I
Well,
said, I
yeah.
was walking in the forest and I had a vision. I was training um, your daughter to do laughter yoga. And she said, she's never done laughter yoga. And I said, well, I don't know. And she said, I'm open. I'm open to the possibility. So I'm specifically wanting to work with folks with Down syndrome.
Yes.
They don't have a disability. I get that. They just
Mhm.
have an extra chromosome, so they have
Yes.
characteristics. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
They do. They need support. They, for in general, they are happy-go-lucky people.
Mhm.
And so, for the past since May, I mean, I really find it amazing and magic how things, when you decide, things show
Yes.
up for you. Oh, okay,
Yes.
you're sure? All right, here you go.
Yes.
Here's somebody that can help you.
Mhm.
And so that woman, she connected me. Her daughter goes to a what do you call it? A day program where they, you know, they help them do activities and have a bit of a
Yes.
life, and they're with their peers. Every Friday since May, I've been doing 1 hour of laughter yoga with that demographic. And the reports from the parents, you know, that so we meet
Mhm.
on Friday, it's the last day of the week. So then over the weekend, the parents have reported that their child has they're having less behaviors, they're feeling more settled, they're happier, they laugh, for no reason, which is what laughter yoga
Wow.
is, just laughing. And we're
Yeah.
connecting as a group, 5 months, because I can't just be like, okay, who wants to learn how to do laughter yoga and teach
Yeah.
it? Right now I need to
Uh-huh.
introduce it, and it's a process.
Yes.
And it's magic. I don't really know what's happening, but I know that more people will come. I'm looking for funding. If anybody knows, I'm looking for people that have children with specifically Down syndrome. Reach out to me, and I just would love to chat. I contacted the founder of Laughter Yoga when I had that vision and asked him, is anybody in the world doing this? And nobody is. And there's people with Down syndrome. It has no borders.
Yeah.
It's not about if you have money or you don't have money. Everybody is affected if they're affected with Down syndrome, right? It's a global thing, and it's on the rise, like many of these things. So I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. So anyway, so that's where I'm headed now, and I feel on purpose. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's coming next. I just know that during this cuckoo time, I'm being called to do laughter. And like I get regular requests to do laughter yoga for corporate, long-term care, special needs.
Yeah.
I just got hired to do laughter yoga for a Holocaust survivor center.
Wow.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy duty stuff, but it's not about talking about what happened.
Yes.
It's about, here we go, let's just laugh and feel.
Laugh.
And it's not laughing at the situation too. Anyone that's listening thinking we're in a pandemic, if she didn't know.
Yeah.
It's not laughing at, it's laughing because of.
Yes. And that is so powerful. And anyone that is listening, that is a part of the Threads family that can help and assist Cathy, please get in touch with her. She mentioned that she needs finances to proceed and to go forward with this particular vision that she has. And it is a noble cause. It is a beautiful vision. I believe that as people get and move in their development, self-development, or enlightenment, we become servants. And as servants, we have a responsibility.
I would like to just invite everybody to my Tuesday club. I have a free 30 minutes of wonderful self-care. Laughter is the best medicine. It's Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can find me through kathysclub.com. It's on Zoom. You just sign up and you get the link. Make it your new weekly class that you attend. Come and check it out. It's really fun. And I have people attending from around the world. It's a beautiful thing. It's not about language. It's laughter. Laughter is the universal language. So very powerful, beautiful. And everybody is welcome. So come and check out my club. Laugh every day. Decide that it's something that you want to do. And as a laughter yoga teacher, I incorporate not only the laughter, the fun clapping and chanting and moving around, dancing. I incorporate other healing modalities. I've incorporated tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique, brain gym, and different energy healing so that people can sleep better, get out of stress in a fast way, and just live a more wonderful, joy-filled life. That's what I want for everybody. That's what I'm doing. I feel like I'm on purpose, living a good life. And, just because it seems like, oh, she has it all together, things happen to me and I do get stressed. But with these tools, it helps me get out of stress and manage whatever situation I need to deal with at the time. So get worms to manage your food scraps, eat sprouts so you have wonderful nourishment, and laugh every day. Those are my three threads. Ken, I'm so excited to have been a guest on your podcast, and thank you.
I wanted to thank you for bringing such wisdom to us and such courage that you took this path on about the worms, about this new you have gotten. I personally want to thank you, and I will continue to stress to the family that is at Threads of Enlightenment to do the best they can to reach out to you and support in any way that you need, especially when it comes to the financial piece of it. We're in 39 countries and 210 cities around the world. So I put out a SOS call to everyone that listens to us to really get in touch with Cathy and bless her, and so that she can continue with this marvelous assignment that she has been given. Thank you so much, Cathy.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Everyone who's listening to this podcast, we hope to continually help you to learn how to embrace moments of darkness, because it is in the darkness that we learn how to develop and use our abilities to truly see those parts of ourselves, often invisible to us, in the light. It becomes your responsibility to navigate through all of your trials, to find out who you truly are and begin your journey to loving yourself, which is possibly one of the most difficult things you will ever do in your life. To love yourself and to find the real you, but always remember to enjoy the journey. Thank you for coming by. Please subscribe, and if you can support us financially, we deeply appreciate it.